Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name once again is Celestial C888, and today we will be doing a monthly read. Now for our monthly reading, we will be still using the Celtic Dragon Tarot deck, but in addition to the Celtic Dragon Tarot deck, we will also be using the Psychic Tarot Oracle card. We will be pulling at least two cards from that deck. We will also be using the Moonology Oracle cards to pick out a moon card for your reading, and we will be topping that off with the Romance Angel Oracle deck for any Romance Angels messages to look out for the month. Now these are the decks that we will be using for your reading, and now without further ado, let us begin. Alright, Sagittarius, these are your cards, and this is your general reading for the month of September 2022. Now, first impressions that I have for you, Sagittarius, as a collective, I feel as if many of you, and this doesn't necessarily have to mean all of you, but many of you are dealing with, negative thoughts. Some of you maybe even depression, because your first card, the Five of Cups here, is definitely a card that says that you guys are kind of dwelling in negative thoughts and negative feelings and depression, and nobody's journey is the same, so I can't say snap out of it or stop, because I don't know the reason why every individual Sagittarius is going through whatever they're going through. And again, you might be a Sagittarius but not really going through this, and if this part of the reading doesn't apply to you, then you can just always ignore it. But I definitely feel in the collective Sagittarius, you guys are kind of going through some negative thoughts and feelings, and maybe that might have to do with your next card, which is the Two of Pentacles. Let me pull it up. The Two of Pentacles is definitely a card where you're balancing at least two, maybe even more things at once, and this might be why you might not be feeling the best, Sagittarius, come September, because you are balancing a lot more than you have been in the past. So let's say if you, as an example, decided to go back to school, but you're still working, and maybe you're working full-time and you're going to school full-time, and now you have to figure out how you're going to balance both of those things out at the same time, while also being able to spend time with your friends and family and do whatever extra things that you like to do that might not necessarily be work or school or friend related. I definitely feel that for the collective Sagittarius, you guys are going to be having to juggle quite a few things this month, and it might be really hard. It might even feel a little bit depressing, like you might be worried that you might have to give one thing up so that you can succeed in doing something else, Sagittarius. But I definitely think that once you work through these feelings, Sagittarius, that you'll definitely be able to do this, be able to balance these things out together and still work through them. Now, this might not necessarily be for everybody. Some of you might have to make hard decisions on whether to let something go, because again, you're juggling so much at the same time. You might have to let something go for your own well-being. But I definitely feel that this is happening with a lot of Sagittarius in the collective this month. And the next card you have is the High Priestess. Now, I feel as if the High Priestess is definitely, he came through this reading to help you guys with this. Some of you, small portion of you actually, will probably be growing more in psychic ability or intuition or something like that. I feel as if the High Priestess is there for that reason, but I do feel for the majority of the Sagittarius collective, you guys have the High Priestess because you kind of need help with balancing everything out. And so you might have somebody in your life who has High Priestess energy, and it's just there hey, let me do this for you so that you can do that, and I definitely feel that if you have that person, Sagittarius, don't don't reject them if they really want to help you, if they're really good at helping you. Again, some of you are lucky enough to have this High Priestess person in your life. I'm also getting right now, Sagittarius, that maybe you might even be having arguments with friends or family, some of you. And maybe it's maybe that's why with the Five of Cups, you might not have started off on good terms for the month. Maybe you had just like were on like a mini vacation and you visited a friend or family members, and you know, you thought it was going to be fun, but instead it just old drama came up again, and now you're kind of going into the next month not feeling the best. So for those Sagittarius who that applies to, you know, I definitely think eventually you'll be able to work through it, but you definitely are going to be feeling your feelings, especially in the beginning of the month. If it is happening, you know, at the beginning of the month, it could happen at any point in this month, but you know, definitely I feel for a good amount of you in the collective it's like towards the beginning. But next you have the Ace of Swords, and the Ace of Swords is definitely telling me, Sagittarius, that you guys are on a journey to new things. Now this is a general reading, and it could be, you know, within any aspect of your life, whether it's work, friendships, relationships, you know, school, whichever have you. You know, this time of year, a lot of you are just having new beginnings. In general, it's just that time of year. I want to say, I mean, anybody could have a new beginning at any point in the year, but like a lot of people for the reading so far have like new beginnings as part of their reading, and it's just how it is collectively right now. And I definitely think that this new beginning period for you, Sagittarius, is very good, because you're going to be able to do a lot more creative things. I definitely just got the image of a Sagittarius drawing a picture, or like maybe even painting. Like I want to say doing something creatively with your hands is definitely something a good amount of Sagittarius are going to be doing come September, you know, for the month. You might start off with just like one or two drawings, but then you find that you're like doing it like on a continuous basis, and you're happy about it. I want to say also with the Ace of Cups, just as a warning, because I do have this, like, it could also mean that for some Sagittarius out there, and this doesn't have to apply for everybody, but some Sagittarius out there could be, you know, susceptible to pregnancy around this time. And if that is not something that you don't want to be pregnant, or you don't want to get anybody pregnant, whatever it is that's going on with you, you know, definitely just watch out for that if this is not what you want. And lastly, again, you have this Two of Swords. I want to say this also, again, reaffirms that you guys are going to be doing like a balancing act a lot this month. You're definitely going to be balancing multiple things at once and dealing with a fluctuating of emotions. That's what I feel that the Two of Swords is here to say for your specific reading, that you guys are just you're not even gonna be balancing just like work and school, but you're gonna be balancing your emotions with one person or another. So something like that is definitely happening for you, Sagittarius people in the collective this week. And again, this doesn't have to apply to every Sagittarius, and if you feel that this reading doesn't apply to you, you can always check for your sun, moon, or rising sign to get a bigger picture of how your month is going to be. So let's move on to see what your psychic tarot cards are for the month. Your first card is the Universe, and I definitely feel this is a really good card to have. It's basically, you know, the same equivalence as the World card on any other tarot deck. But for this one, for you, Sagittarius, I definitely feel as if this is the universe telling you that, you know, they see you, they see all the hard work that you've been doing. They understand, you know, how much, you know, it's been emotionally draining for you, but like everything that you've been working towards is going to lead to something good eventually, because you have the material and spiritual prosperity as your following card after the Universe card. And again, you're definitely going to be in a better place, maybe for a lot of you by the end of the month. Maybe it doesn't necessarily mean all of you, and again, this is a general reading, so it could, you know, be applied to any aspect of your life. But I definitely feel in the collective, you guys are going to be in a better place soon, I want to say. Next, let us get your Moon card as soon as I finish setting down the tarot ones. And your Moon card is a fiery climax approaches full moon in Aries. How appropriate. Like I was saying before, there is an ending coming for you, Aries. Well, excuse me, it's because the card is Aries, full moon in Aries. There is a full moon coming for you, there is a climax approaching for you, Sagittarius. Again, excuse me. Something is going to be resolved. It might be, towards the beginning of the month, towards the end of the month, or even the middle of the month. But you're gonna have answers. Something is gonna come to its natural conclusion, and I would just say, strap in, because Aries energy is definitely can be very chaotic and fiery and everything, but I'm sure you guys will be able to handle it when it comes, Sagittarius. I think you guys are really good with handling your emotions when you can. But again, like I said, this is not necessarily gonna be the easiest month for you, Sagittarius, but that is life. That is life. Next, let's look at your romance angel cards, and we have you deserve love. You are lovable, Sagittarius. And what I really like about this card, besides it's saying that you deserve love, is that this is a woman with like a bow and arrow, which is like very synonymous with Sagittarius. So I definitely feel like this is the card that you definitely need to see for your reading. And for those of you who are in happy relationships, who don't feel the need for this part of the reading, go ahead and ignore it. I do not want people out there to break off their perfectly happy relationships just because I pulled certain cards. Please don't break off your happy relationships just because of this. And your next card for the romance angel cards is trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. Again, I don't think this applies to anybody who's already in a happily, relationship, who already trust their partner. But for those Sagittarius out there who, need to hear it, then you need to hear that you have trust. You need to have trust in the situation. For some of you, I'm guessing, maybe you don't trust that you're gonna find somebody who's gonna be with you, who's gonna love you, and that's why you deserve love as the first card. You needed to be told you deserve love and to trust that you deserve love. I definitely feel it's a message for a good amount of you in the collective, Sagittarius. So remember, you deserve love and to trust the situation, even if you aren't single, even if you're in a happy relationship anyway already, you deserve love too. So yeah, that is for you too. That is for you too. You deserve love as well. All right, Sagittarius, you're in for an interesting month. Again, it's going to come with its ups and downs. I want to say, again, for the good amount of you in the collective, I want to say the worst of it for the majority of you might be towards the beginning, but then the energies change once we get into the later part of the month. Again, this doesn't necessarily have to apply to everybody. You might find that you're a Sagittarius where the opposite happens, where the beginning of the month was perfect, and then it was like towards the end of the month that you were starting to have issues. Whenever time this part of the reading happens, it happens. Again, this is a general reading. It can apply to any aspect of your life. So that is the reading that I have for you, Sagittarius. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, comment to help the channel grow, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.